regarding temporarily occupied territories. There are principal difficulties. We are ready to put off some issues off the agenda, like the Crimean issue. We are prepared to talk about having the Crimean issue. The occupation of Crimea should be resolved in a diplomatic format, maybe like 10 years later. Globally, the issue needs to be resolved, such as the end of warfare, and then diplomacy steps in. Diplomatically, we can find a solution, because Ukraine is a peaceful, peace-loving nation. And I said this in answering to your first question. It is what matters most is to save as many lives of our people as possible. We do need guarantees of security from leading nations. And the Russian Federation understands that. We may have argument about this or that country, but among the key states, there have to be guarantors, and those can be members of NATO or those outside it. And we are talking about key players, consider key players of the world. But once again, I'm saying that we want those countries that want it join this openly. In addition to the US, Great Britain, Germany, France, Turkey. Why I named this list? This is not all of them. We would like to have China join it. We understand that Russia needs to find a place in that agreement as well, because it will be an agreement between Ukraine and Russia, so that because they are a party to this war, they are a subject of this invasion, and they need to be bound by that treaty. And I know that several different countries want to be a member of this alliance. Among the security guarantors for Ukraine, I know Israel and Ireland, etc. But for now, I only named those countries which have already said that they are prepared to be guarantors, or those who we contacted and already exchanged some early drafts of the documents about them being guaranteed.
So short of NATO, short of Article 5 protection, you're saying a group of nations provide security guarantees. Has President Biden offered the U.S. as one of those countries?
We talked with President Biden. We talked with him quite often enough. We had a conversation yesterday. We are saying that Ukraine would like to see among the leaders of those guarantors those who are joining this important peace settlement process. We would like to see the United States led by the President among those leaders. And on our part, we received a message that the United States are considering this proposition. They're considering it in a positive way. We want to see specific guarantees. What will be our future if we now make an agreement with Russia, but 2 years later they come back with another war? What will happen, not in the next 3 weeks or a week, but or a year? We want to know what will happen within the first hours of a new war. If American intelligence says that there may be an invasion starting in January, then what? Will there be prevention sanctions? Will there be pressure on those individuals who push for escalation? What will be further steps regarding weapons, regarding troops? There are many questions. And we would like to have answers, even if not much, but some specific answers.
Mr. President, what do you think Vladimir Putin wants?
Vladimir Putin wants the world and Western countries what they give to him. Then appetites usually grow. I think the president of the Russian Federation is not an exception if you look in the historical time. And many people have such appetites grow. The more you give them, the more their appetite grows. in terms of territories. So those appetites keep growing. And then your surrounding keeps saying, believe me, now is the time to take this step. That surrounding usually creates some kind of information bubble around the leader. Now you live in that information environment that they created for you. When you begin to live in such a world, then you get such information, and then you try to undertake certain solutions which are terrible, not civilized, not democratic, but some kind of authoritarian. That's how they took our Crimea, they took away our Donbas, and now they want to take more of our territory. We will not let them, because one can't do things like that. Someone has to stop it. If not us, then there'll be others after us. Europe, countries of Europe, the European Union, the former Soviet republics, and then, of course, Poland, Romania, and so on. Those are big plans. So that's what he wants. And he will get it unless he is stopped. They talk about the ambition to bring back the former Soviet countries back into the Russian Federation, saying that their territory is much bigger than what they have, and it goes way outside of today's borders of the Russian Federation. So what he wants is his personal business. The question is about us, what we can allow him to get.
Our military experts believe that you want to build on recent successful Ukrainian counterattacks by expanding to kind of a counteroffensive phase, and that's why you're requesting all these advanced weapons like long and mid-range air defense, combat aircraft, tanks, armored vehicles, counter-battery, radar, etc. Our people also believe that the Biden administration is resisting this in some way. Is that true? Are they resisting that effort?
Regarding heavy weapons, everything's very simple. If the world is ready to tell the truth to their people, if we don't have heavy weapons, how can we defend ourselves? How can we fight against one of the strongest armies in the world? Our military, our people, soldiers are stronger than the Russian Federation. But they have a lot more weapons, so these forces are not equal. And they will say, excuse me, you now have enough of what you were given, and we cannot go and die for your territory. These are serious challenges. Powerful weapons are needed to Ukrainians. Heavy weapons will give us an opportunity to talk with them at the negotiation table.
Do you believe that President Biden wants Ukraine to win, or that President Biden and his administration fear Putin's reaction if Russia loses?
I have faith that President Biden, like any true American citizen, believes and wants the truth to win. And the truth is on the side of Ukraine. I believe that they want the values that make our nations closer to win. That's freedom, that's democracy, freedom of speech, freedom to choose your dignified life, work, who to live with, who to love, how many children to have. And I think that those values are close to every human being. We want simple peace for our nation. We don't want a million of quality bulletproof vests or some special brand helmets. Just give us missiles. Give us airplanes. You cannot give us F-18 or F-19 or whatever you have. Give us the old Soviet planes. That's all. Give them into my hands. Give me something to defend my country with, my state. And if you want it, and I believe that the United States, the people of the United States want that, but if this process gets longer, continues to be delayed, if we can see that the process of transferring those weapons is getting slower, then people begin to ask the question, is it really true? Maybe there is some game behind it. I don't want to believe that some partners of ours are playing games. I don't know if President Biden is fearing President Putin. I believe that he doesn't. I want to believe that he doesn't, because he's the leader of a big nation, a great nation. I'm holding my fist. That's our tradition. I don't know if you understand this this standard. I hold my fists or cross my fingers so that this will never happen, that any president of the United States would fear Russia, because America for us was always a symbol of democracy, and I have faith that Ukraine is also now, for Ukraine, you're also a symbol of freedom.
Mr. President, did you order the attack into Russian soil, the Ukrainian helicopter attack on a Russian military depot across from Kharkiv, across the border in Russia?
I'm sorry. I do not discuss any of my orders as Commander-in-Chief, the leader of this state, and there are things which I only share with the military armed forces of Ukraine and when they talk with me. You need to understand that on that territory that you mentioned, you have to know they were placing their shooting systems and firing those missiles themselves. And I know in some regions, this path to Mariupol, we had made a deal with the Russian Federation to open that corridor. They went, people went, but then the Russians shot at them. And they said, no, we didn't shoot, but they controlled 140 kilometers of that road. Our forces were not there, and they shot many of those convoys, and Russians were saying, we ordered not to shoot. So, in those temporarily occupied territories, there are all kinds of things happening which do not balance. The military do looting, marauding. It's not just Russian soldiers. We know that there are some Wagner group fighters, and there are Chechnya fighters, Chechnya guards, and some Syrians, all kinds of fighters there. So what's happening there? The Russians might not even know fully what happens there. What matters for us is that you and the whole world should know that we are a country at war. We were attacked. That is what matters. That is the biggest tragedy. But honestly, it's not professional to talk about it. They occupied our territory. They attacked us. It's been this war been going on for 8 years. So whatever happens in a certain situation, it's hard for me to comment.
Well, Vladimir Putin's history, Mr. President, on ceasefires, for example, is that he uses them to rebuild his forces, advance tactically. He always breaks the ceasefire, at least in the past, by initiating military action. If, for example, Mariupol falls to the Russians, some observers believe that Putin may offer a ceasefire in order to stop your successful counteroffenses and then have time to rebuild his forces. Would you accept a ceasefire?
Regarding an actual ceasefire, I don't think that it will be real until we have reached an agreement with the leaders. Like I said, an agreement can only be made with guarantors of our security. Yes, there may be an agreement about this or that regime for ceasefire for a day or two, for instance, to collect the wounded and the dead bodies of Ukrainian soldiers from Mariupol that's under blockade. The president of Russian Federation may use that time in order to withdraw his troops back to the east to strengthen his position there. I am sure that such a strategy is likely to be considered by President Putin's military leaders. But if we do get a one-day ceasefire or some hours of ceasefire in order to be able to help our people, those people are waiting for our help. We don't care about the tactics of Russian Federation. We will gladly accept such a ceasefire in order to help our people. That's number one. Number two, the strategy of taking Ukraine in 3 days or 5 days, this is already a matter of the past. Let's not forget that it failed, and we will stand defending us, and we will be the first ones among those who want to finish the war diplomatically, and we will always support it. From the beginning, we were speaking in favor of peace, but we are fighting on our territory. But everybody must know that if we are pressed in a corner on our territory, we will respond the way we can in order to save as many our lives as we can. We will answer at full strength.
And what's your final message for Vladimir Putin?
I wish him to watch television that is not Russian, to see what really is happening in the world.
Mr. President, we appreciate your time on behalf of Special Report and Fox News.
Thank you so much. It was a great honor. All the best. Good luck for all Americans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is